Salam, brother. What are you thinking?
Brother, I will be traveling out of the country, and I need to know what I can eat or drink there, and what I can't eat or drink there.
Brother, do you want to know people's opinion or Allah's instructions told us by the Prophet?
Brother, I want to know what Allah says in the Quran about it, because following the Quran is fard on me, as stated by Allah in Surah 28, Ayah 85. And following the guidance of the Quran is the biggest sunnah of Allah's Prophet. Additionally, the Quran is the only book in this world which, if not followed, then the Prophet will complain to Allah about us, as mentioned in Surah 25, Ayah 30.
Absolutely, brother. Now first, see Surah 6, Ayat 119, and tell me what Allah is saying in this ayat.
So, brother, according to this ayat, we can eat anything on which we take the name of Allah, except for those things that are declared as haram in the Quran. And whatever food is not declared as haram in Quran becomes halal to eat, based on this ayat.
Absolutely right. So, after these instructions of Allah, we must look only for haram food in the Quran, and any food that is not made haram by Quran becomes halal to eat, as per Allah's instructions. So, let's see. What is haram in drinks? Kindly see Surah 2, Ayat 219.
Okay, so as per this ayat, consuming khamr or intoxicants such as alcoholic drinks or drugs is a big sin. But brother, some people say consuming khamr such as intoxicants like alcoholic drinks and drugs is a sin, but these are not haram. Are they right?
No, brother, they are wrong. Because in this ayat, Allah said, consuming khamr, intoxicants, such as alcoholic drinks or drugs, is a big sin. And in Surah 7, Ayat 33, Allah said all sins are haram. So, brother, when all sins are haram, then why this bigger sin be not haram? So, let's see Surah 7, Ayat 33.
You have rightly said, brother. Based on those two ayats, consuming any intoxicants, including alcoholic drinks or drugs, is not only a big sin, but it is haram as well.
Now, let's see about what is grown from the land or earth is haram or not. Kindly see Surah 20, Ayat 53, and Ayat 54, and Surah 6, Ayat 141.
So, brother, as per these ayats, everything that grows from the earth is halal to eat, except those that are forbidden earlier, such as khamr or intoxicants.
Absolutely, brother. Out of the things that grow from the land, Allah has only made khamr or intoxicants haram. So, as per the instructions of Allah given in Surah 6, Ayat 119, all other products that grow from the land become halal. Yes, brother. Now let's see. What is the haram in edibles from the water or sea? Kindly see Surah 16, Ayat 14, and Surah 5, Ayat 96.
Okay, so as per these ayats, all the water food, like river or seafood, is halal to eat.
Yes, brother. All water or seafood is halal to eat. And we could not find a single ayat in the Quran that declares any type of seafood as haram to eat. So, based on the instructions of Allah given in Surah 6, Ayat 119, all the food from water or sea becomes halal to eat. Absolutely. Now, let's see what Allah says about birds and animals. Now, first, see Surah 6, Ayat 118 and Ayat 119.
So, brother, according to these ayats, we must look for what is haram to eat.
Now, first, see that although birds are discussed separately from animals in the Quran, such as Surah 16 and Ayat 79, where the word ta'ir is used for birds, and at some places, birds were presented as food, such as Surah 56 and Ayat 21. But we did not find any ayat where any bird is mentioned as haram to eat. So based on the instructions of Allah mentioned in Surah 6 and ayat 118 and 119, all the birds become halal to eat. Yes, that is much understandable based on these ayats. Now, let's see what Allah instructs about land animals. So, what we need to see is what is haram to eat among land animals. Once we know what is haram to eat, then everything that is left is halal to eat, right? Absolutely. This is what the ayat of Allah says. Okay, so now let's see step by step that what is haram to eat. First, see Surah 5, Ayah 1. Okay, so as per this ayat, among land animals, Allah has specifically mentioned Bahimatul An'am as halal with few prohibitions. What are Bahimatul An'am animals? Bahimatu means four-legged animals, and An'am means animals which are kept for a beneficial purpose, like livestock, which gives you the benefits such as milk, transportation, wool, etc. As defined in Surah 36, Ayat 71 to 73. And Allah has specified further details of these An'am in Surah 32, Ayah 27, that An'am eat what grows from the land, like grazing animals, so they are not meat eaters. Okay, so it refers to animals like cow, goat, sheep, camel, rabbit, etc. Yes. Now, I have a question. What about the other animals who are not livestock? What are Allah's instructions about them? Brother, let us show you 3 ayats on this matter. Now, you first see Surah 6, Ayah 119 again. So, remember that as per this ayat, we can eat anything on which we will take the name of Allah, except those that are made haram by Allah, and anything that is not made haram by Allah becomes halal to eat as per this ayat. Now first, see Surah 6, Ayat 146, that for whom those animals were haram and why. So brother, as per this ayat, the animals with nails were only made haram for Yahud, and that was only because of their disobedience, so we can eat these animals. Brother, let's see how Allah answers this question of yours in Surah 6, Ayat 145. So brother, it means we can eat whatever we can eat,
if Allah has not made it haram.
Absolutely, brother. Now, let's see that. Whatever food we have seen so far as halal, what are the prohibitions among them? What food Allah has made haram out of these, and under what circumstances that food becomes haram? Now, see Surah 5, Ayah 3, and list down when halal things become haram to eat. So, what is the first item according to this ayat?
As per this ayat, the first halal thing that becomes haram to eat is a dead animal.
Yes, so all halal animals which die before they are slaughtered or hunted down are haram to eat, no matter which animal is this, right?
Right.
Now, according to this ayat, what is the next item among the haram category?
The next haram thing is blood.
So, blood is also haram, no matter from which halal animal it is, right?
Right. That is why we slaughter the animal in a halal way to get rid of the blood.
Remember, brother, slaughter is slaughter. There is no haram or halal way of slaughter. In every slaughter, we cut the neck of the animal to allow the blood to flow out. And if it had been important that how much neck needs to be cut, then Allah would have explained that in the Quran. The way of slaughtering is an issue inspired among us from the man-written books of other religions.
But isn't the way of slaughtering affects how much blood is removed from the body?
Brother, although there is no significant difference in the quantity of blood removed from the animal because of various ways of slaughtering, but even if you assume there is a difference, the important part is Allah has clarified the state of the blood which is forbidden in Surah 6, Ayat 145. So, this is the blood that does not stay at one place or flowing blood. So the blood stayed inside the meat is not an issue, as no matter how you slaughter the animal, you will find some blood inside the meat and is washed before cooking.
I have a question. How do we know that the animal we are eating, Allah's name has been taken on it while slaughtering?
Brother, this is only possible if you are present there. That is why Allah has required you to take Allah's name while eating, and this is why you say Bismillah while eating. See what Allah is instructing in Surah 5, Ayat 4 regarding it. So, brother, if anyone shows you any translation of the Quran which asks you to take Allah's name while slaughtering, then do check the Arabic of that ayat. That does the ayat contain the word dhabh? or the translator has added it in translation based on his own thoughts. But since it's important to take Allah's name on everything we do, so brother, if you are slaughtering the animal, then you must take the name of Allah on it. And if someone else has slaughtered the animal and you are only eating it, then you must take the name of Allah while eating. And remember that as per Surah 5 and Ayat 5, you can also eat the food of the people of the book.
Oh, brother, so it means I was creating my own criteria of haram and halal based on how the animal is slaughtered.
Brother, Allah prohibits declaring anything as halal or haram that you cannot justify from the Quran as Allah's instructions. Kindly see Surah 16, Ayat 116. Now, let's move forward and see what else is made haram by Allah. So, let's see Surah 5 and Ayat 3 again.
The next haram thing is swine or pork.
Excuse me, is it swine or pork? Kindly read it again and correctly. Is swine or meat of the swine written?
Yes, it is the meat of the swine or pork. But what is the difference between swine or meat of the swine?
See, brother, Allah has used the word swine 5 times in the Quran. Out of those 5 places, at one place in Surah 5, Ayat 60. Allah has used the word swine to relate some disobedient people with monkey and swine, and at other 4 places, while discussing haram food, Allah has used the word meat of the swine. And if Allah has made specifically the meat of the swine as haram, then we have no right to add or delete anything to the instructions, and we must follow what Allah has instructed in the Quran, and we must not invent our own haram.
You are right, but I have a question now. Has the Quran used any separate word for fats? And does fats of any animal have been discussed in the Quran separately?
Yes, brother. Quran has used a separate word, shuhum, for animal fats. In Surah 6, Ayah 146, when Allah made some parts of fats of cow and goat restricted on Yahud as a punishment for their acts. Otherwise, there are no restrictions on any animal fats in the Quran. Let's see Surah 6 and Ayat 146.
Ya Allah, I have been restricting so many medicines on myself as haram for having animal fats in them.
Brother, this happens when in the matter of deen or religion, we make believe on stories that we have heard of rather than verifying them from the Book of Allah, communicated to us by the Prophet. Now, let's move forward to see what else is haram in this Surah 5, Ayah 3.
The next item I see as haram is anything in which we take any name other than Allah. But I have not seen anyone taking any other name while slaughtering.
Brother, is the word slaughter, dabh, used here in Arabic?
No.
So, it could be anything that is offered on names other than Allah, since this ayat is talking about what is haram to eat. So we will only discuss that. Let me show you another ayat on this issue. See Surah 6, ayat 121.
So, as per these ayats, we should not eat those things that are offered on names other than Allah, because we become mushrik after eating them.
Now, brother, do you know any type of food that is offered to you on names other than Allah?
Oh, there is only one food that was offered to me in the name other than Allah. It happened when someone brought some food to me and told me it is in the name of some imam. It was some nadar or nayad.
So, brother, according to these ayats, any food that is offered to you in the name of people is not only haram, but it's also shirk to eat, no matter what name you give to this food.
You have rightly said, brother. I had no idea that what I was eating for thawab, Allah has declared not only haram to eat, but also an act of shirk.
Yes, brother. Now, let's see Surah 5 and Ayat 3 again, to see what else is made haram by Allah to eat.
Okay, so next haram item in those halal animals, which is strangled to death, and which are killed by a stroke or blow, and which are killed by a fall, and which are killed by a horn or goring of another animal.
Okay, so all those halal animals which are strangled to death, or killed by a stroke, or are killed by a fall, or are killed by another animal through horn or goring, are haram to eat, regardless of which animal it is. Now tell me, what the next haram thing is.
The next haram item is that animal which is attacked by a beast. But if we zakaitum, justify or purify it through the slaughter before it's dead, then it is allowed.
Yes, so if the animal is dead, before you slaughter it, then you cannot zakatum or purify it. So it will become haram. Now, let's see what the next haram item is.
The next haram item is those animals which are slaughtered at stone altars. Allah has used the word nusubi in the Arabic of this ayat. What is a nusubi place?
Brother, it is a place where efforts are put in to please someone other than Allah.
What are those places where we slaughter animals to please someone other than Allah?
Brother, the only place among Muslims where you slaughter animals to please someone other than Allah is a shrine or mazar or dargah or astana. So, according to this ayat, that halal animal which is slaughtered at a shrine or mazar or dargah or astana is haram to eat.
Okay, I got it now.
Now, let's see what the next haram item is. that should not be eaten.
The next haram item is those animals who are divided or committed on arrows, and in Arabic, the word azlam is used. Brother, what is this azlam that Allah has mentioned in this ayat on which we divide or commit animals?
Azlam means dice or arrowing in the ear, like associating anything with future or luck. Means you are dividing or committing the animal for the purpose that it will change the luck or future evils.
Brother, what are those occasions where we commit or divide an animal to change the luck or the future?
Brother, you must have seen some people dedicating or slaughtering a black goat or chicken under the perception that the dedication of this animal will remove future evils from them. This is usually done on occasions like childbirth or marriage or house construction, or even on a test from Allah, which some people call a problem. So, when you dedicate or divide an animal for the purpose that the division of this animal will remove the future evils from you or someone else, so Allah has also made that haram.
Ya Allah, I now realize that we have made bad practices of other religions as part of our deen. I have now understood all those things that Allah has made haram to eat. Is there anything in addition to these which is halal to eat, but we consider it as haram?
Brother, there are hundreds of things that we have made haram on ourselves without Quranic evidence. But let me show you one of those that is mentioned in Surah 5, Ayah 4.
Okay, so as per this ayat, all clean or pure things are halal, including the prey that our hunting animals catch for us, and if we take the name of Allah while eating them. But the question is, which are those hunting animals that catch prey and bring to us?
Brother, the only trained hunting animal that catches prey for you is a dog. And the second evidence to support that is in this ayat. Allah has used the word mukallibin for a trainer, and since kalb word means dog, so mukallibin is a dog trainer, and the dog trainer for hunting will only train a dog.
But dog holds the prey by its mouth, and I have heard that keeping a dog is haram, as dogs are impure. And here you are talking about eating the prey that dog has held in its mouth.
Brother, Allah has started this ayat by talking about pure and clean food, and then Allah has specifically mentioned this, food that hunting animal catches for us, so that you should not consider it as impure, and we are not sharing with you our opinion, but showing you the ayat of Allah communicated to us by the Prophet. It's up to you to trust what you have heard from people's quotes or believe what is said by Allah and the Prophet through the Quran. And do remember that as per Surah 18, Ayat 9 until 18, Ashab al-Kahf were also holding a dog and they were on the guidance by Allah.
Thank you, brother, for guiding me on this subject of halal and haram food. I will now follow the guidance given by Allah in the Quran, but I know that many of the people will be disappointed by this information.
Brother, if you have noticed in the same Surah 5, Ayah 3, after mentioning all the details of haram and halal, Allah said only kafir or disobedient of Allah would get disappointed from you because of following these instructions of Allah. But remember that as per Surah 28, Ayah 85, the only book that is fard on you to follow is the Quran. And as per Surah 25, Ayah 30, Quran is the only book in this world whose instructions if not followed, then the Prophet will complain to Allah about you. And brother, never forget Allah's instructions regarding halal and haram food in Surah 10, Ayat 59, and Surah 5, Ayat 87. So brother, verify these instructions from the Quran present at your home and share this video to educate Muslims around the world about the instructions of Allah and His Prophet regarding halal and haram food. And download our free mobile app with the name of Question Quran to not only read the Quran from multiple translations, but also to get the answers of thousands of questions directly from the Quran.